You went alone to America to spread this message. And we know that Prabhupada went alone, but he carried Bhagavatam. So then Prabhupada said, I didn't go alone. I went with Bhagavatam. This was the reply Prabhupada gave. So that's how Srila Prabhupada had so much of faith. And Bhagavatam, if in a right spirit we read, we discuss, we really relish, and also a lot of inner revelations, many things come into our heart. Okay, so with this into background, we can begin. I think we did six or seven, I don't remember. Seven, six I did. We did, I think, no? We discussed about that poison and we
Okay,
had
yes,
in
Prabhu. I
detail.
think
Yeah.
you've done it. I'll do seventh, Prabhu.
Yeah. So seven. So we will start from seventh verse. Actually, there is a nice uh, verse which glorifies Srimad Bhagavatam. So maybe you can all learn this before reading Bhagavatam. We can glorify this. I can share this, bro. I can share.
Okay, Prabhu, I'll unshare, then you can share, Prabhu.
No, that PPT is with me where I can.
Okay, so I will stop sharing, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so then I can share. Yes, so this is by Sanatana Goswami. He writes from Krishna Leelastava. There are five verses. So very Sarvashastra Pipiyusha Sarvavedaika Satfala Sarvasiddhanta Ratnadhya Sarvalokaika Drikpadha. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O nectar churned from the ocean of all Vedic scriptures, the most prominent transcendental fruit of all the Vedas. O you who are enriched with the jewels of all spiritual philosophical conclusions, you grant spiritual vision to all the people of the world. Sarva Bhagavata Prana, Srimad Bhagavata Prabhu, Kalitvanto Didhaditya, Shri Krishna Parivartitha. O life breath of the Vaishnava devotees, O Lord, you are the sun which has arisen to dispel the darkness of the Kali Yuga. You are actually Lord Krishna who has returned among us. Paramananda Padhaya Prema Varshi Aksharayate Sarvadha Sarvasevyaya Shri Krishnaya Namostute. O Srimad Bhagavatam, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. By reading you, one attains transcendental bliss, for your syllables rain pure love of God upon the reader. You are always to be served by everyone, for you are an incarnation of Lord Krishna. Madeka Bandhu Mad Sangin Mad Guru Mad Man Mahadana Man Nishtharaka Mad Bhagya Madhanando Namastute. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O my only friend, O my companion, O my teacher, O my great wealth, O my deliverer, O my good fortune, O my bliss, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. The last verse. Asadu sadhu dhayin ati nicha uchataraka hanamunchakada chinmam premna hridkantayo spura. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O giver of saintliness to the unsaintly, O uplifter of the very fallen, please do not ever leave me. Please become manifested upon my heart and my throat, accompanied by pure love of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So these are beautiful verses by Sanatana Goswami glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna is non-different, and we glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam is equal to glorifying Krishna. Yes, Prabhu, we can start the share. So we are actually studying from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the pastime of the Krishna chastising the serpent Kaliya. It is so beautiful, actually. Mm, Krishna's carrier. Anybody can guess what is Krishna's carrier?
Garuda, Prabhu.
Garuda?
Yes.
Garuda
Yes,
Prabhuji?
Prabhu. So generally we say it's like, no, Krishna is on Garuda. But here it is like, no, it is mentioned that Kaliya became so famous that Kaliya Nardan, Kaliya Krishna dancing on Kaliya's hoods. And he purifies Kaliya and makes him a devotee. And he becomes very famous for this. So sometimes, we can see like, Krishna is riding on the Garuda, and we also see Krishna is dancing on the Kaliya's hoods. So we have a famous painting from ISKCON. I don't know how many of you have seen. So anyway, so like this, Kaliya is pastime is very, very enlivening pastime. So like last week, devotees would like to read, they can read. Sarpahradah Purushas Sarani Vega Sanshobhito Raga Visochava Sitambarasihi Paryak Pluto Vishakashaya Bibishanormir Dhavan Danuhu Satam Ananta Balasya Kim Tat. Anybody would like to read?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu, go ahead.
What we can do is, like, devotees have any questions or want to read or anything, they can raise hand so that there is no collisions or anything like that. Okay, Lalita Mataji, first you can go ahead. Others in the next forthcoming verses, they can raise hand, and then you can start. Yes, go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Translation: When the Supreme Personality of Godhead landed in the serpent's lake, the snakes there became extremely agitated and began breathing heavily, further polluting it with volumes of poison. The force of the Lord's entrance into the lake caused it to overflow on all sides, and poisonous, fearsome waves flooded the surrounding lands up to a distance of 100 bow lengths. This is not at all amazing, however, for the Supreme Lord possesses infinite strength. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Yeah, you can go ahead to the next. No purport is there. तस्य हृदे विहरतो भुजदण्डघूर्णा वर्गोषमङ्गवरभारणविक्रमस्य आश्रुत्य तत्स्वसदनाभिभवं निरीक्ष्य चक्षुः श्रयः संशरात् तद् अंश्रयमाणः. Yes, Anuttama Achyutapriya Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam.
Yes, Mataji.
Krishna began sporting in Kalia's lake like a lordly elephant, swirling him mighty arms and making the water resound in various ways. When Kalia heard these sounds, he understood that someone was trespassing in his lake. The serpent could not tolerate this and immediately came forward. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, purport also you can read.
According to the Acharyas, Lord Krishna was producing wonderful music sounds within the water simply by splashing his hands and arms.
Yeah, so here we saw like, like we have seen like, elephants, they're walking and coming, and especially the baby elephants, it's very cute to look. So So Krishna actually saw the poison emanating from the lake, and we saw in the previous shlokas, like, he's jumping, and it's like, we saw that Krishna was tying his dhoti and tying his hair and everything, like, getting ready for a great fight. So, and here it mentions that, he makes was producing wonderful sounds, splashing his hands and arms. So we'll see what happens next. Yes, Ganga Prabhu, please. Tam prekshaniya sukumara ganavadatam Srivatsapitta vasam Pitha vasanam smita sundarashyam Kridantam apradibhayam Kamalodharangrim Sandashya marmashurusa puchaya chachadha.
Ganga Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu. Kalia saw that Sri Krishna, who wore yellow silken garments, was very delicate, his attractive body shining like a glowing cloud, his chest bearing the mark of Srivatsa, his face smiling beautifully, and his feet resembling the whirl of lotus flower. The Lord was playing fearlessly in the water. Despite his wonderful appearance, the envious Kalia furiously bit him on the chest and then completely enwrapped him in his coils.
Yeah, so just now the fight is going to begin. And these are all descriptions of Krishna's various features. So here we see it's like, the Kalia is started actually biting him on his chest. And Acharyas talk about the mark of Srivatsa. So it's a kind of Srivatsa is a kind of a curly hair which is present, and in many places Prabhupada writes in especially in Vaikuntha, the residents of Vaikuntha are same like Narayan, and it is mentioned that there is only one differences. It is actually the Srivatsa mark in the chest of Narayan. So that is the only difference we have. Otherwise, they look alike, the residents of Vaikuntha. So here the Kalia is actually biting him on the chest, and also it also actually started winding, wrapping him with his coils. And we'll see what Krishna is doing. Like, he will start growing. So this is how here Krishna is actually wrapped, and the fight is beginning. Yes. Few verses, there are no purports. Just we will just read this, and then maybe in the further verses, when the real fight begins, very wonderful purports are there. Tam nagaboga parivitham adrishta cheshtam alokya tat priyasakaha pasupa vrishartah krishne arpithatma suhrit artakalatra kama dukkhanushoka bayamuda diyo nipetuhu.
Anybody would like to read? Satyabhama Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, go
Yes,
ahead.
go ahead.
Translation. When the members of the cowherd community who had accepted Krishna as their dearmost friend saw him enveloped in the snake's coil, motionless, they were greatly disturbed.
They had offered Krishna everything, their very selves, their families, their wealth, wives, and all pleasures. At the sight of the Lord in the clutches of the Kaliya snake, their intelligence became deranged by grief, lamentation, and fear, and thus they fell to the ground. Prabhu, shall I continue with the
Please read both translation.
purport? Srila Sanatana Goswami explains that the cowherd boys, along with some cowherd men and farmers who happened to be in the vicinity and who were also devotees of Krishna, fell to the ground just like trees that had been cut at the root.
Yeah, so now we saw that at the beginning of this pastime, actually, the Krishna is actually he extinguishes the forest fire and they come to this place, and that is where they their gopas, the cowherd boys, they drink the poison, they fall unconscious. And then again, Krishna, by his just by his vision, he brings him back all the cowherd boys to life. So we saw that. So now they're all watching this. Krishna goes inside and then he wants to make the Kaliya get out of this lake and remove the poison. And that's where he gets inside and he starts trying to chase away Kaliya. But when these Vrindavan Vasis, they saw Krishna has been caught by Kaliya and then been enveloped in the snake's coil, they really get disturbed. Because what is the difference between the residents of Vrindavan and the residents of Goloka is in in Vaikunta and Goloka, Vrindavan. It is said in Vaikunta, the Aishwarya Bhava is there. Like, everybody knows Narayana is God and they have odd reverence and consider. But in Vrindavan, nobody has a belief that Krishna is God. Their actually lovable object is Krishna. So that is the mood in Vrindavan. So when they saw all these residents, they saw Krishna being coiled and Krishna is lying motionless. They are disturbed. And their disturbance is actually compared by Sanatana Goswami is like the trees that has been cut at the root. And that is the problem in this material world that, we are living. It is like, without Krishna consciousness, it is actually, what to say, it is actually living like a tree without root. Correct? Anybody remembers there is a nice shloka in Shrimad Bhagavatam? Narada is instructing Prachetas in 4th canto, where two analogies are given. How we are not Krishna consciousness, we cannot be happy in any way. Anybody remember shloka, or you can give the analogy also? Again, the tip is with respect to tree root branches, something like that.
So once the root is watered, then tree is satisfied,
Yes.
and we
Yes.
eat the stomach.
Yathataror moola nischanena tatskanta bhujopakashaha prana upahara yatendriyanam sarvaharanam achyutechya. See, it's a very important philosophy for us to understand that We are actually part and parcel of Krishna. Like how the example is Narada is telling here in this shloka, it's like, the intelligent way is to nourish the tree, is to water at the root of the tree rather than going to branches and leaves. Similarly, to nourish our body is to feed the stomach. So, similarly, in our life, we are now here bereft of Krishna. Prabhupada tells so many zeros without one. Right? So, the life is like that. So, people think various ways they can be happy. But without Krishna consciousness, we cannot happy. And here, Krishna is getting affected. That is their life and soul. It's like something, a picture, if you want to bring here, is like, no, a mother is there and a child is there, and the child is caught, something like that. And when the child is suffering, how the mother will feel. So that is how our feeling with the Lord also. Because we have forgotten here, the same feeling is actually it is actually reflecting the material things, but it is actually originating from Krishna. So Prabhupada, in the previous chapters in the purport, very interestingly, Prabhupada writes, it is actually, that is the last chapters which Prabhupada wrote in the, actually 14th chapter, Brahma's prayers. You saw that, no? In 10th Canto. That is the ending, right? After that, it is all written by Srila Prabhupada's disciples. So that is why Prabhupada wrote Krishna book first. He stopped in 9th Canto and then he wrote, I think not even 90, just well before, he wrote few cantos and stopped that, and then he wrote Krishna book and then came back to Bhagavatam because he was thinking like, if he's not going to stay in this world for a long, then people at least let them read Krishna book. So there in a purport, Prabhupada is writing like all the cowherd boys are coming and then sitting, and they are what happened is they are coming with their lunch bags. So in the lunch bag, what happened? One boy takes the lunch bag and runs away. And then when this boy comes to the boy who has lost the lunch bag, he comes to this person, then he throws the lunch bag to the other person. And then he goes there, he throws it like that, it goes. Then finally he starts crying. Then they return the lunchbox. So in the purport, Prabhupada writes a very interesting. Now, in the material world also, this type of game is there. Correct? When the children get together, this kind of play is there. So Prabhupada writes, what is the difference between this? He asks, he says like a question, in what way this is different? Boys in this world, they play because the same kind of play is in the spiritual world. So what Prabhupada is telling, in the material world, it is temporary because you play for some time. After that, you grow, then you become very serious in your life. You become a family man, then you die. But in the material world, that play is eternal. So that is the difference. And he says, and the goal of life is to dovetail our consciousness from this temporary activities to the permanent activities. Very amazing. I just remembered that purport. So here, all the Vrindavan Vasis are so much of anxiety because Krishna, they know him as the lovable object. So when they don't think that, he's God. So they feel like, they have to protect him. So that is how they are with grief, lamentation, and fear. They fell to the ground. Okay? Yeah, bro. Text number 11. Gavo vrisha vatsatarya krandamanaha suduhkitaha krishnenya kshana bita rudhantya ivatastire.
Pavani Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Translation. The cows, bulls, and female calves, in great distress, called out piteously to Krishna. Fixing their eyes on him, they stood still in fear, as if ready to cry, but too shocked to shed tears. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you. We'll go ahead. No purport. Text number 12. Atha vraje maha utpatah trivida hi atidharunah utpetur bhuvi divi atmani ashanna baya samshinah.
Translation. In the Vrindavan area, there then arose all three types of fearful omens, those on earth, those in the sky, and those in the bodies of living creatures, which announced imminent danger. Purport. According to Srila Sridhar Swami, the omens were as follows. On the earth, there were disturbing tremors. In the skies, there were meteors falling. And in the bodies of creatures, there were shiverings, as well as the quivering of the left eye and other parts of the body. These omens announce imminent danger.
Yeah. So now there is a danger, and then it is actually reflecting in three ways: in the earth and in the sky and in the bodies of the living creature. This kind it makes like no, there was a disturbing tremors in the earth, kind of a shake, and then in the sky we can see thunders and the meteors falling, and in the bodies of creatures they were shivering. So here you see we can see here that left eye and other parts of the body. So in some places also I've seen, like if you see in this material world, if something is going to happen, it's sometimes we can see like, somebody will say if somebody is going to die, there'll be, a continuous barking of the dog in that area or something like that. So similarly, people felt there is a quivering of the left eye and other parts of the body. So this is how material nature shows you. Sometimes, we feel something happen, you can see the left eye and the other part of the body is quivering. Anybody has felt experience? I don't know. Right? So like this here, the Vrindavan Vasi saw some danger is going to happen. And this is actually, it is the other Vrajavasis who are not in the picture. I'm just telling here, cowherd boys have come for grazing the cows. Correct? That's what we saw. Now here in Vrindavan, all these Nanda Maharaj and all the elderly gopis, they see this and they see this kind of thing. They saw, maybe something has happened to Krishna. And they feel the fear. And these are some things which is happening. So here in the 12th verse, it is mentioned a very interesting commentary by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. I just having that commentary. I'm reading that, you can hear. Though there can be nothing inauspicious for the Lord, in order to indicate the lamentations of the inhabitants of Braja, the Devatas in charge of earthquakes and other disturbances did this. Or being attracted to the intimate mood of Braja out of affection for Krishna, to make his Aishwarya become forgotten, they produced omens indicating misfortune for Krishna. Right? So for in devotees, there is nothing inauspicious, but the just to indicate the lamentation of the Vrajavasis, the demigods, the devatas are creating these disturbances. So that's what Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad is actually mentioning in this. Okay. Yes, Prabhu, we'll go ahead. Text number 13 to 15. So, तानलक्ष्य भयोद्विग्न गोपनन्दपुरोगमः वीनरामेण गः कृष्णं ज्ञात्वा चारयितुं गतं तैर्दूर्निमित्तैर्निधनं मत्वा प्राप्तं मतद्विदः तत्प्राणस्तन्मनाश्कास्ते दुःखशोकभयातुरः आभालवृद्धवनितः सर्वे अङ्गपाशुवृत्तयः निर्जग्मुर्गोकुलादीनः कृष्णदर्शनलालशः.
Satyabhama Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Okay, Vedanta,
Seeing
go ahead
the,
with it.
yes, seeing the inauspicious omens, Nanda Maharaj and the other cowherd men were fearful, for they knew that Krishna had gone to herd the cows that day without his elder brother Balram. Because they had dedicated their minds to Krishna, accepting him as their very life, they were unaware of his great power and opulence. Thus, they concluded that the inauspicious omens indicated he had met with death, and they were overwhelmed with grief, lamentation, and fear. All the inhabitants of Vrindavan, including the children, women, and elderly persons, thought of Krishna just as a cow thinks of a helpless young calf, and thus these poor, suffering people rushed out to the village, intent upon finding him.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. So here, again, rightly, I just bring out the point that in Vrindavan, the Vrajavasis, the mood is like, Krishna is not God, correct? So I'm just remembering one pastime. Nanda Maharaj was chastising Krishna, and somebody is like, in some context, they come and say that, see, it's like, Gargamuni, when he came, he said he's a great personality, you should nicely take care. And then he gets a comment like, he's a very important person. We should not do that. But Nanda Maharaj says, whoever he may be, whoever he may be, I am his father, and it's my duty to chastise him and bring him. So this is the mode. But now they see this, and then and Balaram also actually that day he didn't go. So they become very fearful, and they are just rushing out of the village, and they are going to the place. So let us see what's happening. Text number 16. Tam stata kataran vikshya Bhagavan Madhavo Balaha Prahasya Kinchinna no Navacha Prabhavogna Anujashya Saha.
I think Lalita Mataji had raised. I lowered by mistake, I believe. So maybe
Yes,
go ahead, Mataji.
thank you, Prabhuji. The Supreme Lord Balarama, the master of all transcendental knowledge, smiled and said nothing when he saw the residents of Vrindavana in such distress, since he understood the extraordinary power of his younger brother. Purport. Sri Balarama is the plenary expansion of Lord Krishna and is thus non-different from him. They are, in fact, the same absolute truth manifest in separate forms. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura, Lord Balarama was laughing because he thought Krishna never cares to play with me in my form of Seshanaga. But now he is playing with this ordinary mundane snake named Kaliya. The question may arise as to why Krishna and Balarama allowed their loving devotees to suffer such great anguish during Krishna's temporary imprisonment within the coils of Kaliya. It must be remembered that because the inhabitants of Vrindavana were completely liberated souls, they did not experience material emotions. When they saw their beloved Krishna in apparent danger, their love for him intensified to the highest degree, and thus they merged completely into the ecstasy of love for him. The whole situation has to be seen from the spiritual point of view, or it will not be seen at all. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, so some very interesting points. So now we say Krishna consciousness means at least in the initial days when we come, people will say, Prabhu, you come, all your anxiety in Krishna conscious will go off. That's how we call. But when we come to Krishna consciousness, it's a different picture. There is anxiety. So actually, there is a tattva to it, spiritual this thing. So here we see when Balaram saw all these Vratavasis are all in so much of distress, so he laughed, correct? So there are two things here, very interesting point. Balram is thinking, as Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, that Kaliya is fortunate. When Krishna is lying on me, he's not playing with me, but he's now playing with Kaliya. This is some interesting comment. Then uh, now seeing that Krishna has been coiled by Kaliya, they are in so much of anxiety, correct? But in the purport, you see, the Vrajavasis were liberated souls. But this anxiety is a spiritual anxiety. Very important for us to make a note of it. So, it is said, let us just, I don't know how many of you have heard, it is Prabhupada writes that in separation of Krishna, it is a more higher ecstatic level in Krishna consciousness. Have you heard this? Prabhupada mentioning many places. Anybody has any comments on this? Separation from Krishna is the highest ecstasy. Any thoughts, anybody?
Yes, Prabhu, I think it is called as a Vipralamba, like love in separation.
Yeah, so but I'm just saying Prabhupada is writing in the stage of separation, it is actually you feel like say here devotees having more anxiety and other things, but actually Prabhupada writes that is more ecstasy.
Yeah, I think there is an analogy of like girl and boy when they are in love and they are separated for a long time. Their love towards each other intensifies.
Yeah. Yes, thank you, Prabhu. So similarly, in our separation of Krishna, or when there is some spiritual, this is some danger or something like that, where we feel this thing, it is actually more, our intensity for Krishna increases. So that is why here it is written, the situation has to be seen from the spiritual point of view and not be seen at all, or it will not be seen at all. So, coming back to our Krishna consciousness, where we seriously practice, and sometimes we have anxiety, uh, we should not see that in the material uh, point of view. That is the most important lesson which we have to learn here. That's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur shows all anxieties which I go through in my life are greatest moments in my greatest spiritual ecstasies in my spiritual life. So it is something which we can feel only when we experience it. So the point is anxieties or the separation or the dangers which we see in Krishna consciousness is always a boon. You should always understand this. But our mind will always give explanation. Why I came to Krishna consciousness? For this song. This is what we will say that I lost. Better I would have been in my material life itself. Correct. So this is kind of mind. So in spiritual life, there is no question of mind coming into picture. See, that is why we discuss all these. We discuss so that our knowledge becomes stronger. So when they saw their beloved Krishna in apparent danger, their love for him intensified to the highest degree, and thus they merged completely into the ecstasy of love for him. So, this is how we have to understand. And even sufferings in our life is always for good. That should be his. So, we should never allow the mind to overrule us and take away our understanding. Okay? So, this is something which we can learn from here. We will read one verse and then any questions or comments will close. Verse number 17. Te anveshamanadaitam Krishnam suchithaya padai bhagaval jagmu padavya yamunatatam.
Translation: The residents hurried towards the banks of Yamuna in search of their dearmost Krishna, following the path marked by his footprints, which bore the unique signs of the personality of God.
Yeah, bro. We will read this also. Very interesting. Next one more verse. Text number 18. Te tatra tatrabja yavananukusha yavana yava ankusha asani dvaja उपपन्नानि पादानि विष्पति मार्गे घावम् अन्यपदान्तरान्तरे निरीक्षमाण ययुरङ्गसत्वरः. Maybe I'll read. The footprints of Lord Krishna, the master of the entire cowherd community, were marked with a lotus flower, barley corn, elephant goad, thunderbolt, and flag. My dear King Parikshit, seeing his footprints on the path among the cow's hoofprints, the residents of Vrindavan rushed along in great haste. Sri Sanatana Goswami comments as follows. Since Lord Krishna had passed along the path sometime previously, why weren't his footprints, which were surrounded by those of cows, cowherd boys, and so on, smudged over and brushed? Why weren't his footprints, which were surrounded by those of cows, cowherd boys, so on, smudged over and brushed away? Which means it didn't happen. Why hadn't his footprints been obliterated by those of the beasts and birds of Vrindavan forest? The answer is indicated by the word Vishpati, master of the cowherd community. Since Lord Krishna is actually the wealth of all living beings, all the inhabitants of the forests of Raja would carefully preserve his footprints as great treasures, the very ornaments of the earth. Thus, no creature within Vrindavana would ever walk upon Lord Krishna's footprints. Hare Krishna. We finish with a very beautiful analogy. So Krishna's, here it says, Sanatan Goswami is asking, why did the Brajavasis, when they were walking, like, see, you have a mud road. Somebody is walking in the front and their footprint is there, and the people who are walking in the back, they stamp on it and it goes off. So now Sanatana Goswami is writing in his commentary that why that didn't happen for Krishna. Because here it is said that Vishpate means Lord Krishna, the master of the cowherd community. So even though they never saw Krishna as God, but they loved Krishna so much, but they thought that they should not stamp on the footprints of Krishna. So the lotus feet of Krishna is very special. And so we saw in this translation, there are different. We have lotus feet of Krishna, lotus feet of Radharani, lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There are different symbols there are some changes. This also marks that an avatara comes. There are many conditions where we decide how an avatara is an avatar, so one says they have these symbols. So they never dared to stamp on it. That's why it was not smudged over or brushed away. So that way Krishna's lotus feet is always special. His lotus feet is so special. Sometimes Krishna himself feels what is special about it. And you know that pastime, no? That Krishna licks his own feet, correct? Fingers. I don't know how many have been to, just I'm recollecting. Recently we went to Jagannath Puri last month. Then under the Kalpavriksha tree, I don't know how many have gone there. Anybody have gone there where you have seen this Krishna? In Tamil, they say Alilai Krishna. This in a leaf he is there and is sucking his feet. Correct? Sucking his toe. Anybody have seen that form below the Kalpavriksha tree in Jagannath Puri? If not, maybe next time when you go, you can see beautiful form. Very small, cute under. Correct? So that is the form shown by Krishna to Markandeya Rishi also. You can see in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that is explained. So Krishna himself tastes his lotus feet. So that is why Srimad Bhagavatam is full of glorification of Krishna's lotus feet. Anybody who takes shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, there is no doubt nothing can over danger him. So that is something which we can finish and we can meditate on Krishna's lotus feet, where there are so many shlokas. Anybody remember any shloka in Srimad Bhagavatam which glorifies Lord Krishna's lotus feet? I just remember Namaha Pankaja Namaya, Namaha Pankaja Maline, Namaha Pankaja Netraya, Namaste Pankajangriye. Who has given this prayer? Anybody knows?
The Maharani.
Yes, Kunti Maharani. Yes. So like this, anybody else remember any other prayers which glorifies? There are 2-3 prayers in Gopi Geetam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah. Yes, Lalita.
No, Prabhuji, somebody is telling that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
I remember one sloka in Canto 1, chapter 8 and sloka 9, which was said by Uttara when the Brahmastra was released by Ashwatthama. It is Pahi Pahi Mahayogin Deva Deva Jagatpate Nanyatya Davayam Pashye Yatra Mrityu Parasparam. Hare Krishna
Yes.
Prabhu.
Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you very much. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
And in that Gopi Geet, Pranata Dehinam,
Yes.
that line.
Yes.
Papa
Yes.
Karshana.
Yes. So there also that is explained about Krishna's lotus feet. So we finish today's session with the Krishna's lotus feet. You can meditate on his lotus feet with all these symbols, and then you can go to your bed with sweet dreams of Krishna's lotus feet. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll stop here. We can go for another 6 minutes. Any questions or comments? Or any thoughts or any reflections before we close?
Prabhuji, I have one question. You told that, in spiritual activities, there is no anxiety and mind is not in picture. So, but does that apply to sadhakas like us also? Because many times when we are in anxiety about our services, many a times it's our personal, I'm not sure what's the right word, maybe our personal agenda or something like that is in focus, that if I don't do this service properly, what my leader will think or what people will think, and rather than serving the Lord. So, how shall we understand that? Is it because we are not at the pure stage yet, or is it some problem with our thought process?
See, when you come to Krishna consciousness, you practice, and there is anxiety, don't worry about that anxiety. Just forget about that anxiety. You take that this anxiety is for Krishna, that's all. Whether this anxiety is because you have a seva where that is causing the anxiety, or your previous reactions are falling on you and creating anxiety, or some other devotee is giving you anxiety, as long as you're Krishna consciousness, that's good for you. It's a purification, that's all. Don't do any commentary, no analogy, no meditation, no dissection, all those things forget. It's for my purification, that's all. Don't worry about anything. And only thing is, don't give the thought to the mind. Oh, better. This anxiety is there here. Before I came to Krishna conscious, there also anxiety. So then what is the use? Yeah. Better I'll go to that only. That you don't give hold to it. And that's a fact also. Right? We don't need to give to that thought, but we should always take the anxieties in spiritual life is always for good. That's all. That will be because Krishna is in your heart and he will reveal to you. When you really get out of that anxiety, it is something like, you are doing a seva and so much of anxiety, right? Like, you are, especially the anxiety is more when you are coordinating, correct? When things will fall in place, correct? So it's a lot of anxiety. But when that anxiety gets over and finally the service gets over, you feel very blissful, correct? That's all. That is the bliss. That is more bliss. So you think that is the real understanding. So you don't need to worry about much about anxieties in Krishna consciousness when it is. But don't think that I will take something like, no, I have money, I'll put some money in stock. Then that is spiritual anxiety. No problem. No, that is not correct. That you yourself putting into the problem. So you have to take that in a proper spirit, whatever I mentioned. So for Krishna, whatever you take, that is actually, we don't need to worry at all. Especially when you're doing preaching, you're doing some strategic planning, envisioning. It's a great anxiety for us. Material world, no pain, no gain. That's all. Simple. That's how it is. And even for Vrajavasis, Krishna conscious means more anxiety. There's no doubt at all. Vrindavan was very cool and peaceful till Krishna took birth. After he took birth, so much of anxiety. So it's very difficult to analyze this. But just to summarize your question, anxieties in Krishna consciousness is good. That's all. And it is not possible to explain to you and make you understand. That it's like it's good for you, that you will realize when Krishna reveals to you. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu. Lalita Mataji, you want to ask? Go ahead.
Yes, Prabhuji. Can I ask a question about book distribution, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Prabhuji, when we try to ask people, like some near and dear ones, to read Bhagavad Gita So they will question us. Generally, Matajis, Prabhujis will question, you are reading, na? What did you gain from it? What did you learn from it? Like that they question. So we don't know how to answer to that question to inspire them, because whole Bhagavad Gita in one word we can't say. Most of us Matajis are facing this question, Prabhuji.
Okay. My solution is I'm going to the root. Don't tell them to read.
Okay.
Don't tell them to read only.
Okay,
Actually,
Prabhuji.
Prabhupada said, don't preach to your family members.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So, you'll feel like this and you'll get demoralized. They'll say,
Correct.
what is the use you reading? So, all these things will come. So, we can give answers in various perspectives, but point is, since you are talking that to your family members, so you don't tell, please read, because if any of the close or family people tell, other people don't take it seriously. So you read, for a family person, your preaching is your example. That's all. Simply, you practice Krishna consciousness and then you set an example, and automatically they will follow. That is the only way of preaching to family. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, 2 more minutes. Anybody has any questions, comments, or any reflections or thoughts?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. This is Soumya Raghunath Das.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, this is in relation to this bad omens.
Yeah.
So in our practical life, I know it is for us to practically see bad omens is really difficult. But my question is, like when we are following this practicing devotees lifestyle, should we see what is auspicious, inauspicious, or just to do what we are doing for Krishna? Or is there anything we need to look for, like certain things which we should be careful about?
Yeah. So, see, being Krishna consciousness, have full faith on Krishna, we don't need, when we are, consciousness is fully absorbed in Krishna and we have full faith. But again, what happens is we are in the material world. Basic things, what is Prabhupada and the previous acharyas taught us, is better to see that. It's like, I was just reading Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur on some days like Thursday or I think Friday or Tuesday, something. He will keep his slippers outside previous day, something like that. So they used to follow that because we are in the material world. Whatever possible, we can do that. And so that, see, if we have a very strong faith, whatever happens, let it happen, then you don't need to do anything. But we are not in that platform. So it's better, whatever possible, within the limits, brims of what Prabhupada has taught, our basic things, we can always try to follow so that our faith doesn't get disturbed.
Thank you.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay, it's already late, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your valuable time. I think it has been very, very blissful session today as well. And going deep into the Krishna's pastimes together with all the devotees. It is very blissful sessions, Prabhu. So we look forward to the next session on next Thursday, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhu vevacha patidanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo anant koti vaishnav vrind ki jai.
Jai.
Ki jai. Srimad
Bhagavatam. Jai.
Gaur Premanande.
Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Dhanavad pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Dhanavad pranam, Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhu.
सभी को दंडवत प्रणाम हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी।